Hello. Today we're analyzing best of 3 for UCL semifinals between Steam Buns and Violet River. It should be a good matchup. So yeah, get right into the games. Steam Buns brought a rain team with Vaporeon. That's not a mon you see almost ever. I think it's cool in rain. Hydration Rest is decent. Also, like something like Aqua Ring with Baton Pass, I played around a lot with it, though there's no obvious Aqua Ring recipient in here, so it's probably just like a sweeping kind of opponent, like maybe World Cup, Scald Ice Beam. That's what I expect, at least from preview, and for the rest it's pretty standard-ish. Garchomp in rain is okay. The problem with this build that makes me not like it a lot is how weak it feels to like ground. You only have Latios, though there's also a case to be made where no ground types ever switches into anything of your into any of your mods, right? Definitely not on Point or Vaporeon or Tentacruel even. Chomp will be the only weak link in that regard, but even then, it could be something like Aqua Tail, so yeah, it's probably fine. River went for a much more offensive approach with Gun Jelly. Probably Scarfman's, Mix Rachi, Life Orb Zam, and Mamo could be probably Normal Ties. And like Choice Band on this type of teams, you cannot afford to lose the spike with like a wrong guess, let's say. So if you Earthquake into Alando and then you have to switch out because you have Choice Band, that's obviously not feasible with this type of team. You can do it with other styles, slower styles, but with this, I don't think you should be running anything but like Normal Ties or Life Orb even. You can still run like Substitute, maybe like Leftovers, or just keep Normal Ties. Just there's no choice, that's what I think. I think it's Scarfman's and Mix Rashi, but you can also do it the opposite way. It will give you a better surprise factor in a sense, but I think it's worse in general. Mix Rashi is decent, Mix Man's not really. Whereas Scarfman's is okay and Mix Rachi is decent, and if you do the other way around, you have Mix Man's and Scarfrachi, which is like there's also a possibility that it's like DD Mans with Sash Zam, but I think that's even worse. So my expectations are Scarfman's, Mix Rachi, and Orzam. So yeah, it also makes the most sense to me, like in a way the game plays out, right? So you can force an outrage and then revenge kill with Mamo from something like when you have these mons, for example, you're very weak to Scarf Chomp, but if you can force it out early with your own Scarfmans, you can revenge kill it with Mamo, and then you kill the, for example, Zam's main issue to win the game, right? So I think it's Scarfmans. But yeah, let's see. Leads obviously Skarmory. So I'm expecting this to be Gustav Skarmory, obviously. Or well, at least Steel Trock and Spikes Skarmory. And Jelly's Wisp could be Rest. Rest Jelly completely nullifies Tentacruel. It already does, but you can get outplayed by Tentacruel, but with Rest you can't. And it will be especially nice here because there's no Pandorus on this team. So I'm expecting... I don't think it is Rest though. I think it's just standard leads Carmory. Could be special defensive. I like that set more than just boost up. Even on this type of build, that is, you run like Rock Helmet, especially defensive, Steel Throw, Spikes, Taunt, and Brave Bird. I think that's fine. You can drop Todd for Whirlwind as well. I think that set is very good, better than the standard Gustav Carmory. So I would lead. Damn, what do I lead if I'm Steam Bombs? Obviously, leads Carmory if you're River. But if you're Steam Bombs, it depends on your Tentacruel set, right? You can make a case for leading Tentacruel and just spinning, but you would have to run a slowish Tentacruel with a lot of defense for the play to make sense. Alternatively, I think you have to lead the Tentacruel. Like, if you're fast Tentacruel though, what do? Do you lead Politoed? Politoed is slower and then you do nothing. Is there a way for, if I'm Steam Buns, do I have a way to not play against Stealth Rock plants one layer of spikes? Yes, maybe. Okay, so you lead Politoed and then immediately switch to Tentacruel. And then you can guess. If you are the Toxic and the river goes Jelly Sand, you're in an okay spot. You still have to play your opponent with Tentacruel. That's about it. I think I will do that though. I will go for that. If Tentacruel outspeeds Mamo, I think that's a fine play, because GRG, even if it's mixed, it does not KO Tentacruel like anything ever. So I think you can go for that. Like, not even Psychic would kill. So probably I would go Politoed and then immediately Yard Tentacruel and then see what happens. I mean, River is leading his camera and clicking drops on anything and everything, right? I don't think there's... I will go Politoed lead and then immediately go Tentacruel anyway if I'm Steam Bonus, but let's see. Okay, so there it comes, Camry, and then comes Politoed. I think you will go hard the Tentacruel immediately. Okay, this is a play. Anchor is okay. Obviously you lock Skarmory into rocks, so Skarmory is kind of forced to switch out here, and the only Skull switching will be Jelly Sand. So you can click Toxic if you're Steam Buns, which at this point I'm expecting them to be clicking it. Let's see though. I 100% expect Toxic, and yeah, there it is, and River reads it. Good play by River. She called Toxic coming, which was, I don't want to say obvious, but it was a play that made the most sense. And so she rightfully said, you know, I'm expecting Toxic to come out, which is a good assumption, and she went immediately into Rachi, so that's good. Now, the problem with going Rachi here is that, what's your next play? I'm still operating under the assumption that it is mixed Rachi, and so you don't really do anything to Politoed. And although, do you care? Could very well be Scarf Rachi and then like Digimans though, so maybe that's why it came out this early. Let's see. Anchor, not sure what the Anchor was for. I think that was a bad play.
Scald, 63%. He's called again, I think, even if this happens yet, but you know that's happening anyway. And now, what do you do here? Okay, River clicks Will-O-Wisp. You can hard Vaporeon here actually, right? I think you should. Even if a double happens. Okay, so Vaporeon was Jirachi like 100% of the times. I guess the Vaporeon has no moves to it Jellicent though. So you would get taunted into Night Shaded until death, which would probably not work out. Hard Ferrothorn? Is this Lumberry? Let's see. No, it's not. But that worked out because you will take 30%, yeah. Okay, Rocks up. Rocks up pretty nice this game, so that's fine, though now Skarmory might be in cross-up range. In fact, it's most definitely in cross-up range now, so that's the main downside of this turn of events. Okay, if I'm River here, I click Thunder. Anyone else? I already clicked Thunder here if I'm River. Though technically you should probably Fire Punch again. But man, Thunder is so fun here. And funnier play always wins. Steam Buns kind of lose to Jirachi from this spot. I don't know. I think you should go Tentacle probably, and that's why I'm thundering, but let's see. Politoed, same concept as Tentacruel, and never mind, Fire Punch comes out, burn, okay, good thing he didn't go Tentacruel. And there's the Thunder, but Politoed is pretty bulky, so Scald, burn, there it is. Okay, this is pretty good for Steam Buns. This turn, not the question is pretty hopeless. But this last few turns went pretty well, I would say. Politoed will die this turn, you just Scald again. Ice Punch. Alright, so Latios is very strong from this spot. But one, there's a Mammoth one, two, there's Stealth Rock and Spikes, which maybe I'm pretty hard. Do you... What do you click here? I think I go Tentacle here if I'm Steam Bounce and just hard spin. I'm playing off my opponent's grid though. You can go Tentacle and... Okay, you definitely leave Thunder, right? Politoed to 55%. Tentacle is slightly weaker than Politoed in special defense overall, even including Politoed's higher health, so... but if you go Tentacruel, maybe you should Toxic actually. And if you're Toxic Spikes, you click Toxic Spikes. Okay, I go Tentacruel here and click my Poison move if I'm Steam Buns. The reason is that there's no other good play. If you go Chomp, for example, yeah, you Earthquake and maybe whoever gives up Rachi, but say either Mam or Mens come out, your Pelton is low, and you can if in a bad spot. I think I go Tentacruel and play off my potential outplay. That's what I would do. I go Tentacruel and try to outplay my opponent, which in my case, I would click the Poison. If you go Latios is a non-starter, because you're forced to surf, and it would kill probably, but then Jellicent comes out and you're kind of there. Vaporeon, there's a Jellicent, so no. Ferrothorn, obviously not. The only other viable option would be Chomp. I think it's slightly worse. I go Tentacle, hit the person. And if I'm Toxic Spikes and Jellison comes out, that's okay. Because I can add Latios and click Draco Meteor or like threaten a trick. And that's fine too. Yeah, Latios. What? Yeah, Usurp can kill Rachi, but now Jellison comes out, right? Or even Mance. Yeah, okay, sure, Mance. Because it's Scarf Mance, right? So you just Outrage and Latios Ice. And now, like, what's the follow-up? Tentacle, really? You protect, but you're kind of flipping coins because if Outrage ends this turn, okay, it looks like it didn't. So I guess you spin. Oh, except you die. Yeah, that was on the plate, right? This game is just done, isn't it? Wait, it was Scarf Chomp? What did we save the Ferro? Why did Buns save the Ferrotor there? Why not just go Ferrotor here and keep your Latios? What? Okay, so your Ferrotor is at 56%, right? And it will take 6% for rocks, so 50% and 12.5% for spikes. So that's 37%. Outrage, well, of course, Outrage will tweet KO it, whatever, but then Mess will take what, 34% from Iron Bars. So even if it's only a 2 turns Outrage, it only has one more in, and then it loses the Moxie boost. Like, why would you? I'm trying to. Okay, so this is not Scarf Latios, obviously. That much we established. I'm going to assume it's Specs. So could also be Colbur. Probably doesn't matter either way. Because Mamo kills you after another into shards if it's banned. Some KOs you with life or signal beam / shadow ball. I think you go Ferrotor here every time. Not sure wasting one Latios and then one Tentacle. So the problem with Tentacruel here is that protecting Outrage is very finicky, because if you protect into the turn Outrage ends, it's not guaranteed that the Outraging one gets confused. So aside from the outcome that we've seen where Stimulus lost 2 mons, I think you should just go Ferroton. Sacrifice it to Mance, and then if the confusion happens over 2 turns, then you can go Tentacruel, or you can go immediately Chomp, Seal, and click Dual Chop. I think that's miles ahead of this. Because now you have a Ferroton alive, right? But what is Ferroton at 37% going to do against this? Aside from the fact that, obviously, well, it went how it went, right? So protect, and then Tentacle died, and then you revenge kill. But from this point, it looks unwinnable. Okay, Vaporeon can maybe sort of win, but I'm not convinced. Like, yeah, you have to sacrifice Ferroton anyway to Mamo, but if Imagine if you add a Latios too here. I think it would be much easier because now you have Vaporeon. Oh, you would also have a Tentacruel. That would be much easier. Oh, never mind. Died. It's choice band. Okay, never mind. It was probably still hard, but at least you would have had a Latios alive. And so the choice band Mamoswine could not just click Earthquake like it did. It was probably still almost unwinnable for Steam Buns. And it's also why I think turn 1 you should have gone Politoed into Tentacruel. So you... Like, if you play like Steam Buns did, which is the standard mid-groundish plays, you always lose this. Right? There's no way you win this matchup. Like, it's a lost cause. So why not go for the attempting to play your opponent? It's obviously hard and it's obviously not guaranteed, but it's better than a guaranteed loss that happened here, right? I think that's my main issue with how Steam Buns play this. As for River, she clicked buttons, so this was pretty hard to lose, I think. Like, just look at this matchup. You have Custop Skarmory, or anyway, double Azar Skarmory, plus Jellicent, plus Zam, and add the Rachi into this, and the only real Rachi switching is Scarf Chomp. I think this is a pretty free matchup for River. And I think that makes it even more important for Steam Buns to go for less of a standard path. With anything resembling a standard path, you just lose. Especially in a tournament like UCL, where your opponent is at least around your skill level, if not slightly better. Like, that's the point of the tournament. You're against people who are plus minus 10% around your skill level, so yeah, you cannot just go in and say, oh yeah, I'm just going to outplay this person, because I mean, that's valid, but technically these people are responsible, so yeah, be more careful. That's my recommendation. And now we get on to game 2, and we have a Smurf, my beloved. Hell yeah. Smurf into... Is it a sample? No, I think the sample team with Rachi doesn't have Terrakion. This is your typical Rachi Sand team, give or take. I do not like this at all, but I'm not the one playing, so yeah. Sets, I think River has a standard Smurf sets for the most part, so it's like Pashwall, whatever offensive Breloom, Sash Chomp, Life or Pursuit, Zor, Balloon. I hope it's Lamdi Knight. Probably is. Steam Buns, I don't know. The Rocker is probably Lando. Is this Scarfrachi? You can do that. Scarfrachi in some... It's extreme, but it works. You can... So the thing is, you can run something kind of the base, like, I don't know, Life of Terrakion, and then you can English it back up. I don't mind that. And then that also frees up your Latios to run a more offensive set. I think it's standard Rotten Wash, probably physically defensive. I think it's pretty weak to Mamoswine. Choppletar,
the usual. I think it's Life or Terra, like maybe Ice Move, and Scarfracci and Standard Lando. Just Stealth Rock you to Orlando. EV spread could be anything. Leads, Chomp, obviously, and probably Rotom Wash. Click Wisp with Rotom turn 1, that's the standard, and SD with Chomp into Rotom. That's how it goes usually. You can lead Lando and just probably Earthquake turn 1, or Ice even, doesn't matter really. You're kind of banking on Chomp not being Lumberry, honestly, but yeah. I think you lead Chomp. Do not overthink this matchup. With Morph, just lead Chomp, man. And lead the Rotom, probably. Latios. Okay. Leading Latios guarantees no rocks. Because obviously, it doesn't 100% guarantee, but makes it very unlikely. Because the Chomp is kind of forced to Ultra G. Or get rocks up, which I will do in this matchup. Actually, no, you 100% click rocks, because then you can pursue him with Sizzler. Then you have rocks up, so even if it's Colbur, Fire Move will not do enough. Fine. Starmie lead from River? Why? It will force the Landos out, so with Starmie lead, if you lead into Lando, then you can immediately switch into Garchomp, but then you get a Garchomp versus Rotom, which you could have gotten anyway by leading Garchomp. Terrakion lead, I mean, sure, but is your opponent really leading Terrak in this matchup? And even if they do, unless it's Balloon, you can just Earthquake it if you're really that scared of Terrak. But you probably shouldn't be scared of Terrak. Yeah, not sure what the Starmie leading is about. I mean, sure. Let's see how it plays out. What do you do? Okay, the problem with leading Starmie also is, what do you do this turn? You just hard Ice Beam? No way, right? You need to Starmie Live until you know a few sets at least, because you need a spin. You can make a case that there's a chance Volcano just wins if the Latios Draco's here, but is there really? No, there's no. Okay, so if I'm in this spot, I hard Chomp. Fuck it. Scissor, okay, sure. Specs Latios. Ball switch. Just click ball switch. Okay, sure. Yeah, but doesn't matter, right? You just wisp. I'm assuming it's wisp. Okay. This is also fine because obviously wisp misses. Always goes to left. 75 accuracy, or it might be Thunder Wave. Okay, so now you have revealed that your Landorus is Choice Scarf. Not unreadable from the preview, but I think it makes it a bit catchy in the sense that your rocker is who? Ida? Is it Chirachi? No, Chirachi is surely is a choice. So is Rocktitars. But okay. So this turn I got Titar here after this U-turn. Rachi. Now you got Titar to get stand up. Okay, you can go Rachi to bait to do this. But yeah, I mean, it didn't work out, so. Now you have a... Your Landorus... Okay, Landorus is dead. Rocks are up, and you're locked into Rhythm Power Ice. So the problem here is that Volcarona comes in, and what do? I Bug Buzz if I'm River here. I am clear that should be okay. Like, does it matter? No, but yeah, there it comes. Bug Buzz, and Tithar is completely dead. Okay, you can switch to Terrakion here. It will not take more than, say, 25%. But the problem with going Terrakion here is that if you tank a move, the next time Vol gets a setup turn, which is not impossible depending on its item, which you don't know. You know it's not Life Orb, but it could be either Pasho Berry or Lamberry. Let's say it's Slam, and your Scarf is Sitar, so Volcarona could kind of set up on Rachi for free, and then if your Terrakion has taken damage once from Rocks plus 1 Bug Buds, you lose the next time, right? If it's Psychic, but you should be Psychic on this 90% of the times. And another problem with Terrak is that you're setting yourself up for losing to D-Knight pretty hard. Although you're already in a sketchy spot against D-Knight with your Landos dead. But at least you can use Terrak to force out the outrage, assuming it's Fire Punch Extreme Speed D-Knight. Cause... how do I win if I'm Steam Bounce from here? Golando, I mean, if my opponent Quiver Dances, they're better the video game, and that's okay. Okay, didn't happen, this is fine still. You go Terrak. Latios. Latios? What? Okay. This is a pretty hard banking on the Volcarona not being Passionate. Like, you're kind of guessing the Volcarona's item. You could avoid that by just going Terrakion. Yeah, Terrakion will get Brelomin for free, basically, but... okay. You can go Terrakion and immediately go out into Rachi. If Rachi is your rocker, I think that's your play, actually. Because you would... That's what I would do, yeah. Okay, so my play would be to go Terrakion and then immediately switch to Rachi. Steambounce 1 Latios, which means I'm expecting this to be... Oh, it is Specs actually, yeah, we saw it turn on, right? Problem with Latios here is that you kind of have to Draco Meteor, and then you lose the next turn to Void. If you surf, this turn Scizor is dying, no matter what you do. But if you click Draco, then Volk comes out. You're Spec, so you just Draco it again. Probably. That would be okay. If you surf, obviously, Breloom comes out and low sweeps, and you have no counterplay whatsoever. You have to surf it again. Like, if you surf it, you will do like 60%, but your Latios is kind of dead afterwards. So yeah, I don't like Latios, because I don't see the future of this play. Like, you kill Scizor instead, right? Yeah, there it is, and... okay, well, unfortunate, now you get Bullet Punch too, which... or not, okay. This only resulted in 6% more damage on Latios, which probably doesn't matter.
bulk. Yeah, I think you have to Draco again, and 50%. Oh, you Draco again. Auto. With Titan at 40%? Seriously? Rotom Wash? So I'm assuming it's Quick Attack Terrakion. Or even if it's not, anyway, you're going for a Terrakion Revenge kill, obviously. I would have saved Rotom. Rotom? Okay, surely you sacrifice Terrakion, right? On this turn, surely you go surely you go Titariel. Okay, so if the Volcarno Quiver dances again because you get outplayed, well, you will lose even if you win Rotom, right? So whatever, that's whatever. Actually, no, because again, I'm assuming it's Quick Attack Terrakion. Hey, that's even worse, right? Here you got Tita 100% of the time this turn. That saves your Rotom, and Anti-Rotom is okay in this matchup. Like, even if you're cast up Tita, you're not getting it in cast up range. And even then, everything that's alive is going to annihilate you. Okay, let's see. Psychic, 80%. Rock Polish. Sure, but you keep close combat. And that burn comes out, doesn't matter in the slightest. It kind of does, because with a Terrakion alive, it would have been easier. Right, so imagine if you had that Rotom here. Okay, you can dodge Hydro Pump, I guess. Atios? Should probably kept Latios here, and just to not instantly lose to Breloom. Probably doesn't matter, Roy. Probably done from this point. Okay, you go Rach here, and I don't know what the Rach. It is cast up either. Okay, or Crunch, very nice. Okay, if you're Ice Beam, no, you lose, right? Unless you freeze the Knight. Let's see. And Crunch 21. This was lost anyway, because Rachi may tank +1 move from D-Knight if you're max HP, but then die to Mach Punch. So yeah, this is just done. Even Superpower into Mach kills. So yeah, this was always yes. Or you die in 1 to Fire Punch. River did what she had to do to win. That's it, really. And Simmons, I think a few crucial mistakes. The order where things got sent in was a bit suboptimal, I would say. So yeah, for the next time, you just, I think you consider your options more. I don't have full access on timer things, but yeah, I don't know. I think a bit rushed from Simmons in some scenarios. Sorry, mostly played well. Matchup game 1 was unlosable, so not really much to say. Game 2 was a bit tougher in general. So well done. I don't know what the Star Belief was about. That one looked very suspicious. Little standard lead is Rotom into Chomp, if it's Will-O-Wisp Rotom. If it's not the lead, should be Lando's area, right? What was it? What? Neither of those things happened. Star me into Latios. And YouTube died. Okay, doesn't matter. It was completely random Final Fantasy music anyway. Alright, so why was this the lead matchup? I'm very confused. Latios Army? I don't know. I completely disagree with this. I don't like this at all from either player. I don't think you should ever list Army with Smurf. Like that's just not it. Not even into opposite Smurf. I mean that's trolling. But especially into Rotten Wash Tita, like alright. So if you're in this matchup as Team Buns, or in general, if you have something like this into Smurf, you should lead Tyranitar like 80% of the time. Yeah, you lose a turn into Chomp, that sucks, and Chomp might ravage your team, but you should probably do it anyway because Sand is important to not lose denied and make sure Brelon doesn't just win the game. As alternatively, you should need something that can U-turn out or at least stop Chomp from just killing things. So probably Landor Serian and or Rotobush. So yeah, I like Latios. Yeah, Latios would kill Chomp, but it's Sash, and you risk getting outrage turn one and losing your Latios, which this matchup pretty courageous because Choiceman Brelon just kicks smack and does a lot of damage. Yeah, you have a Landos. If you get it wrong once and you get bullet seeded, you kind of fucked. So yeah. Anyway, not Latios, but especially not Starmie. Like what? And then she's okay. No, Archibald is fine here, obviously. Not obviously, but thanks Latios, you don't really have a switch in anyway, so just go shit. Which is what River did, so good job. Yeah. Bullet punch. I mean, yeah, you bullet punch because your opponent probably couldn't commit it again. So yeah. But yeah. Fun series. A couple of plays could have been better, but you know, Mounts is Mounts. Yeah. See you next time.